way back in 2014, I was trying to operate Warrior Sound as a label, and I was distributing a few artists as well as myself. And at this time, I was getting fed up with having to pay for every single distribution to happen individually for singles, albums. Everything had to all be reapplied, resent, redone, and paid for each time. And that, combined with disputes with my current distributor, led me to seeking other options. So during 2014, I started moving all of the music over to DistroKid, which allowed me to get an unlimited amount of digital releases out, so streaming platforms and download sites, for about $20 a year, whereas previously I was paying that almost per release. And I've been with DistroKid ever since. That was pretty much their only feature. They allowed for basic stats, and they also had this one great thing where you could create a link for any of your releases and it would show all the stores it was available in. And for the subscription price, that was top tier. Well, the subscription price has barely changed over the last 8 years. However, the amount of features they've added included into your subscription, and in today's video we're going to go over some of those and how they are massively beneficial to you getting your digital music out to everywhere using DistroKid. But one fantastic introduction is the fact if you are distributing other people's music for them, or if you work in a band or with other artists, you have something called splits. This means if they also distribute their music with DistroKid, you can automatically set up a split. So you don't have to worry about tracking payments, seeing plays, and working out dividends. It all happens automatically inside DistroKid, meaning if you have a featured artist, they're also distributing with DistroKid. You can do that split directly in platform without having to negotiate it, work it out, and pay them out. Something they have massively upgraded over time are the stats, and you're now able to see in real time that nobody's listening to your music. Jokes aside, you can now split between the country and regions, cities, types of play, streams, downloads, and platforms, all within the stats, to really see and giant overview of how your music's performing on the likes of Spotify and Apple Music without having to go to the individual platforms, log in, and do all that fun stuff. Now, for a lot of new artists out there, a fantastic way to get discovered, especially if you're making use of this platform right here, is to make cover versions of popular tracks, put them out and release them. And you can do this with DistroKid using their cover license. So you choose the track that you'd want to cover, you make your cover of it, and when you go to issue it with DistroKid, you pay that cover fee license, and they do all the hard work on that side. You're not going to experience takedowns or knockback for creating over somebody else's music. You've made a cover of it and you've legitimately got everything sorted with just a very easy payment, instead of having to track everything down and do it yourself, which is incredibly hard work. A really recent addition to DistroKid is something called InstaShare. If you've ever used WeTransfer or Dropbox when you've got to send a big file like all of your stem tracks to a mixing engineer or your album over to the mastering engineer and it's a pain in the backside, well, now if you're subscribed to DistroKid, you actually get up to 1 terabyte of storage that you can use for exactly that purpose, meaning you keep all of your files under control and you can just send the download out to anyone without ever worrying about it expiring. Now, inside your DistroKid account, you have a section called Get Heard Now, and this has a bunch of features within it that you can utilize to get your music out to different places and heard in different ways. We have Playlister, which is only available to people on the Ultimate subscription, so a label like myself. But again, that costs $90 a year, and if you're worried about that kind of cost being outlaid, then this isn't a service that you really should be diving into and spending time with anyway. You've got other priorities. Also got Slaps, which is the internal DistroKid promotion network, so other DistroKid users can share their music and you can all listen and collaborate collectively in its own kind of social media platform. And then there is the Wheel of Playlist, where you can submit your tracks to be featured on DistroKid's playlist. And to keep it fair, it's completely randomized, with you getting the option to spin once a day, or if your song is knocked off sooner than that, the same day. And if you don't fancy your luck with the Wheel of Playlist, you can use the Spotlight, which involves you submitting a track and the community vote on the tracks they think are worthy of landing placements on those playlists. Now, under Get Heard Now, we've got something called promotion tools, but we'll just circle back real quick, because I mentioned right at the start that when you put a song out, you get a link, and this is called a hyperfollow link. It works a lot like Linktree, but you get one for each of your individual releases. The beautiful thing is nowadays, this page is completely customizable. So if you have your track or other links or videos that you want to feature within that hyperlink page, you can absolutely do that. If the features in this video so far seem useful to you and how you would want to release your music, check the description below this video for a link that will give you a discount off of your first year using DistroKid. Now, just because you produce music and you're creative in that space doesn't mean you know how to work with video. And DistroKid understands this and provides you with some very quick and easy options to create video content to be used as promotional material for your music. And they're designed to work immediately on platforms like Instagram, with square and vertical video being the essential way to do it. You can create quick meme videos with classic movie cut that will be cut together to allow you to include your music. The options you're looking for are the meme generator, Visi, and mini vids content under the promote yourself section. One more thing that we have in that section is something called Upstream. Now, this is a promotion to allow you, when you've broken through a certain level, to get directly in contact with record labels. DistroKid has all the data that your track is trending, that you're getting a certain amount of views, where that's coming from, and Upstream lets you connect with labels based upon that data and what they're looking for in the genres and spaces they're looking for as well. We also have special access. Basically, what this means is you don't have to individually go and sign up to Spotify for artists and Apple Music for artists and Tidal and yada yada yada. You can do it all from directly inside your DistroKid account, using the same details to open up each account and access them directly from there. It just makes music management on all the different platforms a lot easier. In here as well, we've also got tools to correct issues, like if someone else's music lands on your Spotify account, you can then correct that from here using the fixers. And to help even further with that, they've got the ways that you can find all of the very specific details you need for all of your music. For example, a track in Spotify has something called a URI, which is an individual identifier code for your track that isn't really obviously found because general population, they don't need it. But DistroKid will allow you and show you how to find exactly those details to get issues like that fixed down the line. There's also the deeper metadata options, and a lot of people will overlook things like inserting lyrics, but having things like that in allow you to say things like, hey Alexa, can you play that track that has such and such lyrics? And it makes it far more discoverable. It also allows things to be found by Siri on iPhone and Apple Music as well. The other thing is you can integrate the credits for tracks. This means if there's a particular engineer, you can make sure that they are linked in on that particular piece of music. If then they use something like the Sound Better service, well, when someone searches for that engineer, they're more likely to find your track as an example of something that they engineered. It all helps you out in the long run, even though it tends to get overlooked and ignored. And these aren't even all of the services that DistroKid offers. They also allow you to do video distribution and in-house mastering, both covered in detail in these two videos here. I look forward to seeing you in those ones next.